Appreciate y'all coming today. One thing that I've always wondered, just like in the situation with Winterboro, you're a 1A school.
Right.
And that's the lowest you can go in the state of Alabama.
Right.
I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying it is the lowest. What seems to always be, or are there issues on a year-to-year basis, because you are a 1A school, what seems to be the issues of you as the head coach finding kids to play, first of all, because you don't have a lot of people in the hallways because you're a 1A school. But what seems to be some issues that you have on a year-to-year basis trying to put a good product out on the field?
Numbers is going to be the first thing. And I mean, when you make reference to being a 1A school, I mean, and we are, one of the smallest 1A schools in the state. But numbers is going to be the most difficult obstacle that we face all the time. And then I wouldn't really say it's a talent thing, because we got some talented kids. But we've been young. These kids are kind of coming of age now, and they're getting a little bit better at coming to work. So it's just getting them out there and keeping them healthy, because we really don't have a big margin for error once the season starts. We don't have a lot of bodies to throw in different positions, so we kind of trying to take care of guys and get the kids to where they need to be, and minimize on our injuries. Because once we take an injury, it's a lot. Injury to us is a lot. But numbers is our biggest obstacle.
Coach, you talked about numbers just then, and how you got young guys that's been playing since they were 8th and 9th graders. How do you keep guys out? Because the 8th and 9th grader having to go against seniors is tough for them to keep loving the game and having the passion for the game when they're getting their head beat in every day. So how do you keep guys out?
I mean, that's difficult. That's a great question. I think some of the guys that we had, we were fortunate. Some of the guys that we had, they love playing football, and just trying to keep them motivated and keep them from being discouraged, because that is a challenge. Because you don't want to put younger guys out there too early, and then, like you said, they get beat up, and then they don't want to play anymore. And then that, you got to get the kids out of the hallway into the building for them to to get out there and participate. But that's an issue, definitely. But right now we did pretty good from last year to this year, bringing everybody back that we had.
Coach, it's no secret it's been a tough 4 or 5 years for TCC. What do you see that gives you hope for progress this year?
We got a good core group of guys that have been, that's been around, that's got a lot of experience, and we're gonna have to, see if that translates over into, some success on the football field. These guys just got to see some success. They gotta see some success. We got some guys that, played their whole football career that hadn't won a game, and that's gotta sink in for them. It's got to be something that they want, and we got to, have our experienced players come on and lead and pull those guys along that we need to be successful.
Coach, can you just talk about if you guys had a spring, how did they go, and how's the summer been going? And also, can you just talk about the guys you had with you today?
We did not have a spring. The majority of the guys that I have, they play baseball. And with baseball and the spring schedule, it kind of runs in tight. We got everybody that played last year is coming back this year. I think we had one senior last year, so there was really nothing to evaluate. So, without running the risk of, getting somebody hurt, we didn't have one. The group of guys that I brought with me today, are some guys that have truly shown the dedication over these summer workouts. Because that's a challenge also. We out of school, you don't see them. You can't. It's harder to have that accountability with them when you don't see them every day. But this wasn't the issue with these guys. They've really been working hard this summer. We've seen their conditioning change. We've seen their bodies change, and we're looking to get some varsity looking athletes on the field this year.
What position do you guys play? And obviously your names. What position do you guys play?
I play running back.
I play running back.
I play QB.
So the players, make sure that you understand that you are important and the game you play is the greatest game there is, and I applaud you for going out there and doing what you do. It's not easy. So you always remember you're just as important as the 5A school or the 6A school or anything like that because you're playing a special game. Tell us a little bit, players, actually how the summer's gone and maybe what you think that you've done as a group to make sure that this year's different. We get that win and get that confidence going.
It's just being consistent, showing up every day, working hard every day, making sure that everybody shows up and continue to work hard.
Like Patrick said, consistency is the key. If you want to do better, you got to come every day.
We've been changing things around. We've been doing 2-day practice as a team together, stuff like that. Putting in more work. I saw our condition have got better, get a breath quick, and all the stuff like that.
And all the answers you just gave are the answers you're going to need for life when you get ready, guys. Those same things you just said is what you're going to need to have a successful life. So, Coach, you're doing the right thing.
Thank you.
Well, Coach, we're all sitting out here eating Chick-fil-A while you guys are sitting up there, and it made me think about something that I'd like to ask you about, because over all the years, one of the places that we hear about the most about fandom and concession stands and stuff like that is out at TC at Howell's Cove.
Absolutely.
I haven't been there in a few years, but I know it used to be really, really special, and I'm sure it probably still is.
It is. The people we got, they work hard, putting out good products. And this year we're going to try to give you a reason to come back out there.
Well, I've always heard that if you wanted to go eat at any concession stand in this part of the country, Howell's Cove was at the top of the list. Okay, I'll go one more since nobody wants to come grab the mic. Coach, talk about how hard it is to motivate the young players to play the game with the tough years that you guys have had recently. I mean, they've got kids today have so many different things they can do. How hard is it to get them to come out and really focus on playing winning football?
I think that goes into that's another question that goes back into the numbers. Some places where you have bigger numbers, more kids, you can kind of motivate through numbers. We got a guy behind you. Hey, so and so is gonna come take your spot. Well, we don't have a lot of that. So, these guys really have to do a job at being self-motivated and actually pushing themselves, because we just don't have the roster that we need for that internal push. And I think they understand that. Sometimes they understand it in a positive way, and then sometimes they understand it in a negative way. Hey, coach, who else he gonna play? We don't have anybody else. And we've just had some situations. Last year we had. Last year I think we were going in the right direction, and then week 3, we lost our quarterback for the year, and we had to, throw a guy in that had never played quarterback before, which was really unfair to him. But he took it and did it to the best of his ability. But that really led to some challenges for us, throughout the rest of the season. So I think for the most part, the guys know the situation. And like I said, sometimes that's a positive and sometimes that's a negative. It's just the nature of it of what we do. This is probably the toughest level of management in coaching. It's small, but you got to manage these guys in such a small number.
Coach, I probably should have asked you this when I started, but talking about numbers, how many guys, when you line up to start your season in a couple of weeks, 4 weeks from now, what does it look like numbers-wise? Or do you know yet? I have one question for the guys, too.
It's going to be looking between 23, 25, around in that area. Around about 25. And normally when we can get to, that's pretty good for us when we can get to 25. I know that's not, ideal for most places, but when we can get to 25 guys, and we just been stressing, conditioning, hey, you got to play. You got to go. Because even out of those 25 guys, we still may only play 15, 16, on a regular basis. So those guys have to go.
That leads me to our next question for the players. I'm going to assume, guys, that you probably play both ways. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I asked this to one of the other teams earlier. You like what side of the ball do you like more, offense or defense?
I like offense better. I love scoring touchdown.
Yeah, I'll say offense too.
Yeah, offense is probably better.
But you got to play that defense, though.
Right. If you've looked at our defensive stats, you probably know that we don't have anybody that like defense.
Coach, so it's 2025, is that from 7 through 12 or?
That would be, I would say 8 through 12. Yeah, I'm not equating I'm not counting in the 7th graders in that number.
Do you have a junior high or JV program or?
Yes, we do.
Just wondering that because a lot of teams, when you're in a small school, and even I ran into the issue when I was at White Plains, like a lot of our 8th and 9th graders were having to play roles on Friday nights, so they couldn't play in junior high and JV, so they didn't get none of that experience to be able to compete against guys at their own age. And I always thought, man, I wish that the AHSA would change or look at the rule on that so that those guys could get some meaningful playing time that's having to play on a Friday night against guys their own age.
Well, I think they can't they?
They can only play like 2 quarters.
Yeah.
But I wish that they were able to play a full game and compete against guys and have some success early so they would stay out.
Yeah, we run into that problem a lot. We have those guys that got to. We just have those guys that got to do both, just to get it done. So,
what is your players, coach? What's y'all's goal for this year?
Our goal this year is to hopefully make it to the playoff, win some games.
I want to see better improvement on defense, like Obal said.
Yeah, get some stops.
Hey, we ain't tackling nobody in 4 years. Yeah.
Of course, wins the games. Effort. Yeah.
My goal is for the just to work on these kids' mentality, get them to build them up to be able to absorb and handle success and failure as well. We've gotten pretty good at handling failure. I want to get them to see some success, some type of success. Now I'm not even talking about wins and losses. I'm talking about being in ball games, the complete game. So we know what that is. And we were in some last year, and up until some injuries, kind of took us out. We really, season-ending injuries, they are what they are for us, season-ending, depending on who it is. So,
players, what have you felt like you've done? And each individual, give us an answer that you've done on your own to make you a better player for this year.
What I feel like I did is work out consistently, keep my body straight, stay in shape, don't do nothing to harm my body.
Like Coach Brown said, I've been working on my mentality, working on my mind to improve my health, because your mind is more important than your body. That affects everything. If you don't got your mind right, you ain't got your body right.
For me, last year I had a season-ending injury. I tore my ACL, so this year I've been working on my body, of course.
I'm gonna ask Coach Schwartz a question since he's eating. What is there any nicknames? Some of the favorite nicknames that y'all had. Now, be careful what you say. Now we're on live television. Is there any nicknames among the team that y'all like to share?
I'm staying out of that one.
We call him right here Brad/Derrick Henry, because he built like Derrick Henry.
Chill out, man. We got a line, we call him Big E, because it's a wrestler. Go by Big E. We got Milk Man. He be needing a little milk sometimes, he baby, but he straight.
Yeah. He really does.
We call somebody Diesel. He be on that gas, man. He be coughing when we be running, man. So yeah.
Coach Garrett's got the best one.
Bambino.
So, man, he playing with you. He's a head coach.
He made us say that.
I'm staying out of that one. I'm staying out of that one. You talking about Tommy? No, I don't have any nicknames. I don't. I'll let them.
You have the best nickname.
Me? Alabama. Yeah, that's a lot of people. They only know that name. You know what? If you told them my real name, they would be like, "Who you talking about?"